This is Hilarious Living Part 2, Episode 1. We still have the same dog though. Yeah. So, yeah. Let's just get started. Hopefully. Yeah, actually, check this out. Oh, storm storage. Not my fault. It's not. So, good spot. Where should I put it?
What I see here is Pele did a wonderful job with the geology, causing two different fractures in this pile of volcanic rock and sediments to fracture in this X form and then fill with lava. And if you look in the middle, you can tell which one came first and which one came second. The one that goes from the upper left to the lower right came first, and then the one from the lower left to the upper right came next.
Can you just imagine the incredible forces of nature that would have caused that to fracture?
And it would be probably earthquakes that caused that fracture to open up. So maybe Pele was upset about something.
She was always said to have a very fiery nature.
This is a great spot, no question.
Let's go over this way. I'll show you some of the walls over here.
Great. This is not an old historic structure. This has been restored, correct?
Yeah, we restored this in 2007. There have been 2 tsunamis that washed away most of these rocks. And when we came across it, there were only the foundation stones that were there. Most of this was knocked over.
Well, this is different than what I saw at the Menehune ditch. You have multiple rock types here.
There are cultural reasons for the mix in rock type. We call this type of stone ala. This is called Pa'akea. This is a product of the ocean, which is a representation of Kanaloa, the god of the ocean. And then this would be a representation of Kane, who's another god, and he's represented in rock form, basalt rock. But what's unique about this here in the Hawaiian Islands is that you don't really see this kind of structure, this type of architecture with the stand-up sandstone that's really reflective of the type of architecture that's done in the South Pacific. Places like around Tahiti, Marquesas, Tuamotu Islands. These are different elements of different cultures from Eastern Polynesia.
So they brought that here?
That technology.
Okay.
Yes.
So how far back do these date?
Probably as much as 700 years ago.
So my understanding is that the Polynesians arrived in the Hawaiian Islands around 1200 or so AD. Do you think that there were people here when they arrived that go back much further?
It's very possible that there could have been. Many of our stories tell about a people who were shorter in stature and arrived earlier.
If people brought this rock technology from as far away as Eastern Polynesia, roughly 3,000 miles away, I wonder if the hobbits from Indonesia could have traveled the 6,000 miles from Flores Island to Hawaii. Some of the legends say the Menehune were already here when the first Polynesian voyagers got here, around 1200 AD. Oral histories support that legend. Oral histories also suggest the Menehune were little, but I'm still not sure if they were small in stature or status. I recently learned that in the late 1800s, the census for Hawaii, there were a few dozen people who actually claimed to be Menehune. Were the Menehune living?
Yes, we have too many stories about the Menehune that describe them in great detail to think otherwise. They had their own ali'i, their own king, they had their own professionals. The Menehune were a place to themselves. We know about them in much more detail because there's much more engagement between them and us Kanaka way back when. It seems that around 100 years ago, people started to write about them. And that time when was becoming really romanticized to the world. And so there are these
So this is redstone, Daddy, and Jake, as you can see.
I think a legend begins with an element of truth in it.
And this is
But I think there is an element of truth. They believe that there were many honey here in these islands.
Peace.